Today's readings challenge our notion of what it means to love, stripping it of sentimentality, obligation, reciprocity, doing the minimum, or whatever else we usually associate with love. Paul's letter to the Corinthians explores the morality of eating meat which had been slaughtered for pagan worship, not just as an act in itself, as right or wrong, determined by what is prescribed by law, but rather in terms of context. What effect is it going to have on the faith of the community? Will it build up their faith? Will Christians be seen as lukewarm in their faith, ambivalent about their beliefs, values, and commitments if they are seen eating meat sacrificed to idols? He invites them to a more sophisticated moral reasoning, clearly encouraging them to think about their lives and their behavior in terms of what is most loving for others. What will build up the faith of the community, not in terms of personal preferences, legalism, or convenience. Today's gospel also has Jesus challenging his disciples to expand their notion of love beyond anything they have previously imagined. Do you think it's enough to do good to those who will treat you well? To love those whose love you know will be returned? Christian love, that is generosity, forgiveness, honesty, trust, integrity, etc., is not motivated by obligation nor an expectation of reciprocity. Christian love is allowing God's generosity, forgiveness, honesty, trust, integrity to be manifested through us. It's not something we do. It's what God does in and through us. So, for example, Christian forgiveness. I've talked about this a lot, I know. There's no room for vengeance nor retaliation if we are injured, and we ought to seek justice and reparation if that's what's called for. But more often than not, the forgiveness we struggle with is harm to our fragile egos. Jesus invites us to forgive those who harm us, not from a position of moral superiority or self-righteousness, not because we're fulfilling the Christian obligation to forgive, nor to model passivity, but rather from the truth of our human frailty, that we all stand in need of forgiveness, and all are given the grace to forgive through God's magnanimity. We forgive others through being deeply grounded in our faith, knowing that there is more here than I can see or know or judge fairly. The other day, I heard someone misquote the Golden Rule. They believed it was morally okay to treat others poorly if they have been mistreated or if they have mistreated you. More often, we hear the Golden Rule quoted as treating others the way you would want to be treated. Sounds minimalistic to me, being nice. Not at all what Jesus was suggesting here. I'm grateful for the people in my life who gave me what I needed, even when it was challenging, rather than what they would have wanted for themselves. Who knows what transformation might occur, for me or others, if I allow God's grace to pierce my conflicts, struggles, and relationships? What conversion might there be if God's grace, acting generously with no strings attached? Today, Jesus invites us to receive this grace of forgiveness for ourselves and to extend it to others. Quote, "You are not bound to me. You do not owe me. You are not in my debt. In addition, do not bind yourself in self-hatred or shame. In God's love, you are free." End quote. Amen.